Hi guys, in this episode I'd like to cover the high strength bowline. I found within our class that the high strength bowline tends to be one of the hardest knots for people to learn. Something about the knot kind of confuses people. I'll be happy to help you guys individually with this later. As far as uses for this knot, it'll be one of the knots that we can utilize to create a loop on the end of the rope, similar to how we utilize the figure 8 to create an attachment point on the end of the rope. It's also a very good knot for tying around rather large structures because unlike the figure 8 where you're when you're doing a follow through or retrace, you have to have that figure 8 pre-placed on that one end of the rope. In this case, you really don't. You're going to start out with just a series of loops and be able to work through it that way. One of the primary places we will utilize this is when we're tying into the litter. Oftentimes we'll have these pre-rigged into the litter where we've got this figure 8 set up and kind of a pre-rigged attachment point on the head of the litter. There will be times, however, where that's not already set up, and we will actually utilize the high strength bowline in this configuration around the head of the litter. Okay? So this would be one of the key places that we will utilize this on the team, that and wrapping rather large structures. Okay? So let's go ahead and cover how to tie the knot here. If you've ever learned how to tie the normal bowline, it's going to be very similar to that. It's just going to have one extra loop thrown in. For some reason that one extra loop tends to confuse people a little bit. I always start this knot by wrapping my hand a couple different times and creating 2 loops in the rope. Okay? And visually I've always found it a little easier once I've got those loops to twist those loops in the opposite direction so that they cross like this here. Okay, if you leave it like this, you can still tie it, but it can be quite confusing. I find it a little better if you just go ahead and twist those over and hold them perpendicular to these 2 ropes. Okay, so you're actually going to have the ropes running this way, and you're going to have the loops kind of run a perpendicular this direction. You're going to want to kind of keep in mind which end of the rope you're working with here. We're going to go ahead and identify some features here. We're going to have the working end of the rope, okay, where you actually got an end here. Then you've got the running end of the rope. This would be actually going off into the bag. That could be several hundred feet of rope, and you probably aren't going to be able to access the end of that rope. Okay. Once you've got these loops established, you're going to take your working end of the rope, okay, you're going to feed it through the loops here, okay, and then you're going to wrap around the running end of the rope like this, and then feed it back through the loops. Some people like to use the analogy of the rabbit jumping out of the hole, running around the tree, going back down the hole. You can use that if it helps you. Okay. Once you've accomplished that, the way you're actually going to tighten this knot is by grabbing these 2 points here, so in a sense creating a bite right here, okay, and then grabbing the running end itself, and then you can kind of cinch that down and pull on it. Okay. And you'll get this appearance where you've got these 2 loops here coiling around the bite end of the rope. If you've done it properly, you'll come out where the tail actually comes out in the center of this loop that you've now created. Okay, that was what you're looking to accomplish by creating this loop on the bowline. Okay, leave this tail long enough that you'll still have room to do your double overhand safety knot. Okay, so we'll go ahead and demonstrate that here. Nope, didn't quite leave myself enough. That's okay. It's really easy to feed a little bit of this back through and get yourself a little bit more of a tail. Give yourself enough room to get that safety knot in there. Okay. Safeties, like usual, are going to be butted right up against the main knot to get the most strength out of them. Okay. And that's how the knot should look completed, with that double overhand safety right up against it. Okay. If you did this incorrectly and you came out with the tail on the other side, let me show you how to fix that, okay? What happened is you basically just went around the running end the wrong direction. Okay, so you can just flip it, go the other direction around the running end, poke it back through the loops, and in this case I've now come out on the outside, which is incorrect. Okay, we actually want that coming out on the inside, so if you have that problem, just run it the other way around the running end and back through. This may help you a little bit if you notice this rope's coming out on this side of the running end and this rope's coming in on the other side of the running end. If you set it up this way, you'll come out right every time. So you want to actually try to set it up where you come in on this side, the opposite side of this rope here, and that'll help you come out to the middle. Just like this, tie your safety, and you're done with the high strength bowline.